Chapter 65. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing this sound, Lin Tianci smiled. This sound of metal colliding must be right. Lin Jintian's spirit was also shocked. Then he dismembered himself and jumped into the deep pit that Lincoln and others had just dug. Then, Lin Jintian noticed that there was a faint red luster flickering from under the soil. What is this? Lincoln and the others were also shocked, looking at this very familiar light. They also thought of something in their hearts. However, before Lincoln and the others could speak, Lin Jintian waved his sleeves. A strong wind blew the top layer of soil, revealing a piece of red stone underneath. This stone was naturally what Lincoln had just dug. Yang Yuan stone. It is indeed Yang Yuan stone. Lin Jintian bent down and picked up the stone. After taking a look at it, he laughed out loud without caring about his image. Then he looked at Lincoln. Dig hard. At this moment, Lincoln and others did not need Lin Jintian's reminder. They were waving their shovels frantically. Clang, dang. Soon, the sound of metal colliding could be heard. This layer of soil was completely dug up by Lincoln and others, revealing the rock layer underneath. As the soil faded, a layer of red light emerged. This was a whole layer of light red rock, which was somewhat transparent. With the eyesight of Lin Jintian and others, they could easily see that there were pieces of red ore in the rock layer, which looked very beautiful. The faint yang gang qi in the air also became thicker at this moment. Yang Yuan stone vein. It is indeed a Yang Yuan stone vein. Seeing his guess come true, Lin Jintian couldn't help but burst into tears. He looked up at the sky. God bless my Lin family, God bless my Lin family. Lincoln, Lin Mang, Lin Xiao and others were also stunned at this moment. The preciousness of the Yang Yuan stone vein. These Tianyuan realm powerhouses naturally know it clearly, but did not expect that their Lin family would obtain a Yang Yuan stone vein. Lin Mang opened his eyes wide, and at this moment his body wanted to lie on the rock layer, staring blankly along the rock layer. After owning this vein, the development speed of their Lin family will be much faster than before. By then, let alone Qinyang town, even Yancheng, and even the entire Tiandu county, their Lin family will have a great reputation. Looking at the extremely excited three people, Lin Tianci also smiled. If the Lei family knew about this, how wonderful would their expressions be? After discovering the Yang Yuan stone vein, Lin Jintian immediately blocked the news. He then dispatched some reliable guards from the Lin family to Taimu Manor. In the hall, almost all the core members of the Lin family were present. At this moment, they also faded away their initial excitement and listened to Lin Jintian's arrangements for mining with a smile on their faces. If it weren't for God's gift this time, our Lin family would have missed this Yang Yuan stone mine. Lin Jintian sat in the main seat and spoke. Everyone nodded in agreement. In this case, I plan to give this Yang Yuan stone vein to Lincoln and Tianci to take full charge. Do you have any opinions? Lin Jintian continued. Everyone looked at me and I looked at you. This Yang Yuan stone vein was also discovered by Lin Tianci, so it was understandable to give it to Lin Tianci to take care of. I have an opinion. At this moment, a voice appeared in the scene. Everyone was shocked, and then subconsciously looked at the person who spoke, and then their faces became a little strange. Lin Jintian also frowned imperceptibly, and then he found out, the person who spoke was actually Lin Tianci. Tianci, if you have any opinions, just raise them directly. Lin Jintian said. Lin Tianci pursed his lips, and then a smile appeared on his face. I think that although I discovered this Yang Yuan stone vein, the ownership belongs to the Lin family. Moreover, the Yang Yuan stone mine is a serious matter. It is not appropriate for my father and I to manage it. It is better for you to manage it together. What's more, all the uncles and aunts here have worked hard for the development of our Lin family over the years, so there is no need to distinguish between you and me. When Lin Tianci said this, everyone's eyes on Lin Tianci changed. In their eyes, there was a little admiration and respect that they could not perceive, especially Lin Mang. A deep shame flashed in his eyes. Ever since the day when the tribe leader Lin Tianci took a heavy hand, he looked at Lin Tianci very unpleasantly. Sometimes when Lin Tianci greeted him, he was too lazy to even reply, but now, Lin Tianci actually let go of the past and was even willing to share the lucrative job of the Yangyuan stone mine. Such a demeanor made Lin Mang feel that he was not even as good as a child. I used to be a mean person and judged others by my own standards. Lin Mang felt a burning sensation on his face, and he was even embarrassed to argue with Lin Tianci. The previous little grudges were naturally eliminated at this moment, and replaced by full appreciation for Lin Tianci. Lincoln did not feel unhappy at all. Instead, he was surprised by the decision made by Lin Tianci. It seemed that Lin Tianci had grown a lot compared to before. At least, he proposed this matter for the sake of the overall situation of the Lin family. Lin Dong also looked at Lin Tianci, and the admiration in his eyes became stronger at this moment. He even felt that it was better for their Lin family to have brother Tianci than to have the Yangyuan stone mine. Good. 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 Lin Zhentian also looked at Lin Tianci with a shocked expression. Obviously, he did not expect that Lin Tianci would have such an idea. After reacting, he also said 3 good words in a row. Their Lin family has Tianci, plus a Yangyuan stone vein. What is there to worry about? Therefore, Lin Zhentian also immediately clapped the table and decided, this Yangyuan stone vein will be mined by the entire Lin family. Everyone showed a surprised smile on their face, and when they turned their eyes and saw Lin Tianci, the gratitude in their eyes became more and more obvious. This is the best ending, isn't it? Facing so many grateful eyes, Lin Tianci's smile became more intense. He seemed to have given up a little bit of profit, but with the existence of the system, what he could get was much more than mining the veins. After all, if it weren't for this, Lin Dong, the tool man, wouldn't be able to touch the Yangyuan stone veins. Chapter 66. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the matter was settled, everyone discussed some details of mining the veins, and then dispersed. After all, it was late, and mining the veins was a long-term thing. Even if they were anxious, they couldn't do it step by step. After all, this Yangyuan stone vein was what the Lin family needed to keep secret the most. If they just wanted to hurry up and accidentally leak the news, they would immediately attract a group of wolves. This was contrary to the Lin family's idea of making a fortune in silence. From the second day, the Lin family also slowly transferred manpower and gradually shifted the focus of the entire family to Taima village. In this case, Taima village was guarded every 3 steps and sentries every 5 steps, and the security was extremely strict, especially in the place of the Yangyuan stone vein. The Lin family carefully selected the most reliable people in the family and let them eat and live in Taima village. Even their families were taken to Taima village, and this move, in addition to allowing them to take better care of their families, is naturally another insurance. At the same time, Lin Zhentian and others did not forget to do things in full. They were very experienced and arranged a group of people outside the manor to collect and plant ironwood all day long, naturally to conceal their tracks. Under the careful planning of the Lin family, the mining of the entire Yangyuan stone vein naturally gradually got on track. However, since the mining, Lin Tianci, who discovered the Yangyuan stone vein, except for a curious visit to the Yangyuan stone vein on the day of mining, has never been to the Yangyuan stone vein since then. His daily routine has returned to what it was before, but the location has naturally changed from the Lin family's mansion to Taima Manor. On the contrary, the other younger generations of the Lin family will often go to the Yangyuan stone vein to hang out. If my guess is correct, Lin Dong should have reached the mine by now. Lin Tianci lazily leaned against a piece of ironwood, thinking of the scene he had just seen. Lin Dong was excited to ride his fire python tiger, Xiao Yan, towards the depths of Taima village early in the morning. Lin Dong is now in the earthly origin realm. Normally, the next step should be to draw the Yang Gang force into his body and prepare to break through the heavenly origin realm. Just as Lin Tianci's thoughts were flying, the voice of the system that he hadn't heard for many days suddenly emerged in his mind. Ding! It is detected that the son of luck, Lin Dong, has obtained the Yangyuan stone. The host has successfully extracted a 100-fold return, a 4th-grade elixir, Yuan Yang pill. As soon as the system finished speaking, a dark green jade bottle appeared in Lin Tianci's hand. Through the slightly transparent jade bottle, Lin Tianci could vaguely see a fiery red pill rolling in the jade bottle. Hey, sure enough, my guess was right. Lin Tianci was happy. Just when he was thinking about it, the system's reward came. Lin Dong, the tool man, was a little too competent. Puff. Lin Tianci gently pulled out the stopper of the jade bottle and took out the Yuanyang pill. Suddenly, a very strong Yang force emanated from the Yuanyang pill. This kind of Yang force was many times stronger than the Yang Yuan stone. Ding, it is detected that the son of luck Lin Dong has obtained the Yang Yuan stone, and the host has successfully extracted 100 times the return, the 4th grade elixir, Yuanyang pill. At this time, the voice of the system came out again. Another Yuanyang pill appeared directly in Lin Tianci's hand. It seems that I will not be short of these 4th grade pills in the future. Lin Tianci was in a good mood, and then he shook his palm. Just like eating candy beans, 2 4th grade pills entered Lin Tianci's mouth. I am looking forward to it now. If I can get 1,000 times return, what quality of pill will the system give me? After carefully feeling the power of the Yuanyang pill, Lin Tianci licked his lips with some satisfaction. Lei and Xie families, just wait and see. With this Yang Yuan stone mine, my Lin family will soon surpass you. What awaits you then will be destruction. Qinyang Town, Lei family, in a rather luxurious hall, Lei Bao was half lying on a rocking chair, rocking gently, his eyes slightly narrowed. 2 pretty maids were gently massaging Lei Bao. Has the Lin family been active in recent days? Lei Bao asked the man standing beside him with his hands down while rocking his rocking chair gently. The man was a little thin, with sunken eye sockets, a high nose bridge, and his eyes moving around, giving people a rather sinister feeling. If Lin Tianci was here, he would recognize at a glance that the man standing with his hands down was Lei Noa, who had exchanged a punch with him in Taimazwang that day. After Lei Noa fled from Taimazwang that day, Lei Bao was furious and sent Lei Noa out again to monitor the Lin family's movements as a whole. The Lin family has been very active these days. They have transferred most of the family's manpower to Taima village. Lei No said confidently. In order to make up for his mistakes, he has been watching the Lin family's movements almost day and night. He has kept every little thing about the Lin family in mind. The Ironwood village is now run by the Lin family like an iron barrel, and ordinary people can't get in at all. Lei Noa continued, but I looked from a distance in the mountains not far away and saw that many people were busy mining and planting ironwood. Tisk, hearing this, Lei Bao couldn't help but sneer. They are really a bunch of country bumpkins, and they are really not presentable. As the head of the Lei family, he knew how much the soil of Taima village had been destroyed. As a result, the Lin family sent so many people to guard the Taima village with a pitiful output. It was really a joke. The people of the Lin family are just a bunch of frogs in the well. They will quickly grab the slightest thing from our Lei family. A person from the Lei family nearby also spoke up at this moment. If you ask me, the Lin family is really like a dog wagging its tail to pray for favors. As soon as this person said this, everyone in the Lei family in the hall couldn't help laughing, but in their smiles, they showed their undisguised disdain for the Lin family. But no matter what, the account of robbing my Lei family's Taima manor must be settled. Lei Bao suddenly stopped smiling and changed to a gloomy tone, and a kid named Lin Tianci from the Lin family, who can resist the Tianyuan realm with the Dun realm. This person must not be kept, otherwise there will be endless troubles. Several people from the Lei family nodded. When the news came that day, even they were stunned. After the shock, there was a deep murderous intent. If such a terrifying talent grows up, he will definitely be the enemy of their Lei family in the future. Chapter 67. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Of course I have. Lei Ying nodded, with a look of heartache in his eyes, but this person is asking for a high price. As long as things can be accomplished, no matter how high the price is, it is worth it. Lei Bao's face was not the slightest bit upset. What's more, considering his strength, such a price is not expensive. After saying this, Lei Bao waved his hand casually. When that person comes over, remember to entertain him well. With his help, our Lei family will naturally have one less major worry. Yes. Lei No nodded. Okay, if there is nothing else, you can go down. Lei Bao closed his eyes again and enjoyed the massage from the maids. Time passed in a flash. The Lin family was naturally busy mining the Yang Yuan stone veins. when they saw the boxes of mined Yang Yuan stone flashing red in the sun, everyone in the Lin family smiled excitedly. This meant that the Lin family was going to rise. Thanks to God. If it weren't God, how could we have discovered this Yang Yuan stone vein? Countless clansmen were also very excited at this moment. The Yang Yuan stones mined were equivalent to the daily income of their Lin family for a long time. The large number of Yang Yuan stones were carefully stored in dry wooden boxes and carefully stacked, then they were neatly moved onto the carriage. The outer periphery of the box was also stacked with a large amount of tied black ironwood. Some of the younger generations of the Lin family also surrounded the carriage, looking a little excited. After Lin Jintian inspected the mining of Yang Yuan stone yesterday, he decided to go to Yanqing today. Ding, it is detected that the son of the plain, Lin Dong, has obtained the Yang Yuan stone. The host has successfully extracted 100 times the return, the 4th grade elixir, the Yuan Yang pill. The system's voice appeared in Lin Tianci's ears. Lin Tianci finished his training and casually swallowed the Yuan Yang pill. At this moment, his realm has reached the perfection of the Earth Yuan realm, and he is only a little away from the Heaven Yuan realm. I still don't want to break through so casually. Lin Tianci sighed. He could feel his body stirring. These days, he also obtained a lot of Yuan Yang pills. Lin Tianci just selectively ate some, and the rest were all put away by him casually. If all those pills were taken and the Yang Gang Qi entered the body, it would not be difficult to break through to the Tianyuan realm, but Lin Tianci always felt that he was still missing something. When he entered the Diyuan realm, he absorbed the power of chaos, which laid an extremely deep foundation. If he broke through to the Tianyuan realm so casually, it would be a waste of his previous solid foundation. I want to break through myself and achieve a perfect breakthrough. Lin Tianci is very ambitious. Lei family, Xia family, be thankful that I don't want to break through so casually, otherwise, both of your families would have ceased to exist by now. Lin Tianci swung his fist slightly, and the powerful force shook the wind and thunder. Brother, we are about to leave for Yanqing. Grandpa asked me to come and call you over. At this moment, Lin Xia knocked on Lin Tianci's door, and the girl's voice like a silver bell rang outside. Oh, I'm coming. I'll be there right away. Lin Tianci opened the door and said, he saw the envy that flashed across Lin Xia's eyes. Don't worry, sister. How could I forget you? Lin Tianci patted Lin Xia's shoulder and said, when we get to Yanqing, if you see anything rare, I'll bring it back to you. He, brother is still good to me. Lin Xia smiled with satisfaction. Brother, go quickly, Grandpa and the others have packed up and are waiting for you. Yes. Lin Tianci nodded, and then headed towards the gate of Taima Manor. But I remember that Lin Dong got a lot of opportunities in Yanqing. While on the way, Lin Tianci's thoughts were flying. In addition to the improvement of his cultivation, he seemed to have also obtained the method to become a talisman master. Lin Tianci's eyes were full of expectation. Lin Dong's talent in the art of talisman master was praised even by Master Yan, the four-seal talisman master, and his talent was 100 times that of Lin Dong. If Master Yan saw him, wouldn't he be shocked? Thinking of this, a smile appeared on the corner of Lin Tianci's mouth. He began to look forward to this trip to Yanqing. The opportunity for him to break through the Tianyuan realm might also be in Yanqing. Soon, Lin Tianci arrived at the main gate of Taima Manor. A number of carriages were waiting here. At a glance, they were all pitch-black iron wood, completely hiding the boxes of Yang Yuan stones. Although the proportion of ironwood was very high, but everyone knew that the huge number of ironwood in this trip to Yanqing was just used to cover up the truth. The real purpose was just the number of Yang Yuan stones that were not worth mentioning compared to ironwood. What can this Yang Yuan stone do? The profit generated is much more than Taimu's. At this moment, many people in the Lin family are busy loading the last carriage. Obviously, when the carriage is fully loaded, it is time to set off. At this moment, Lin Jintian is also standing next to the carriage, looking at the Lin family members who are loading the carriage with a smile. Lin Jintian attaches great importance to this trip to Yanqing to sell Yang Yuan stone. After all, it is the first time to sell it, so Lin Jintian decided to do it himself without any hesitation. After he explores the way, Lincoln, Lin Mang and others can do it for him in the future. In addition to Lin Jintian, the head of the Lin family, the accompanying personnel who are going to Yanqing this time include Lin Mang, Lin Xiao, and nearly 100 Lin family masters. As for Lincoln, he needs to stay in the Lin family to preside over the overall situation. After all, the relationship between the Lin family and the Lei family has deteriorated to a very rigid point. If the Lin family does not leave a few Tianyuan realm powerhouses to look after them, if something unexpected happens, it will be more trouble than gain. Tianci is here. When he saw Lin Tianci, the smile on his face became even wider. I'm glad you didn't come late. Lin Tianci breathed a sigh of relief. As a junior, it would be a bit unreasonable for him to let Lin Jintian and other elders wait for him. Have you prepared everything for this trip to Yanqing? Lin Jintian asked. We will probably stay in Yanqing for a few more days. Well, I don't have anything to prepare. Lin Tianci nodded. Although he didn't have many Yang Yuan stones, the system gave him quite a few fourth-grade pills. These things were hard currency in Yanqing. Moreover, he didn't need much for cultivation. With Lin Dong as a qualified tool, some resources were not even needed now, and the system had already returned them to him in advance. Chapter 68. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the iron and wood on the last carriage were fully loaded, Lin Jintian also waved his arm and said, "Let's go." Many people from the Lin family gathered here at this moment. The most envious ones were Lin Xia, Lin Hu, and other juniors. After all, everyone knew that Yanqing was many times more prosperous than Qinyang town. The most lively thing in Qinyang town was the Fanghui, but it was said that any large-scale Baibaolu in Yanqing was bustling and lively every day, even more so than the Fanghui in Qinyang town. Therefore, everything in Yanqing was attracting these little guys who had never been to Yanqing, and this time, they were naturally rejected by the elders such as Lin Jintian because of their lack of strength. The juniors who went to Yanqing this time were only Lin Tianci and Lin Dong. Lin Tianci saw Qingtan looking around under the tree, and there was a hint of reluctance in Qingtan's beautiful eyes. Lin Tianci felt warm in his heart, and then he casually found a reason to slightly leave. The team, Lin Tianci blinked at Qingtan. The two people, who had a tacit understanding, came to a dense forest not far away, without attracting the attention of the people around them. Only Lin Xia saw this scene, and the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. Qingtan, I will probably have to stay in Yanqing for a few more days this time, so you should wait for me at home obediently. Lin Tianci touched Qingtan's head and said, yes. Qingtan nodded and said, Brother Tianci, I heard that there are many more powerful people in Yanqing than in Qinyang town. You must be more careful there. Remember to tell Grandpa if you encounter any problems. Also, looking at Qingtan's endless caring words, Lin Tianci's eyes became softer. Then, he kissed her directly. After a long time. Qingtan, is there anything you want when you go to Yanqing this time? If I can find it, I will definitely buy it for you. Lin Tianci said, I heard that the gatherings in Yanqing have much richer items than our Qinyang town. No. Qingtan shook his head without hesitation, and then said softly, Brother Tianci, I just hope you can come back safely. Silly girl. Lin Tianci squeezed Qingtan's little hand. Then I'll go first. Grandpa and the others are still waiting for me. I can't let them wait too long. Yes. Qingtan nodded, and then reluctantly let go of Lin Tianci's hand. Back to the crowd, Lin Tianci got on the horse, and Lin Jintian also finished explaining the Lin family's affairs. This time when he went to Yanqing, Lin Tianci did not bring Xiaoyi with him. After all, Xiaoyi's nine-winged white tiger appearance was too conspicuous, and going to Yanqing might cause trouble. Lin Dong also had the same idea. Let's go. Lin Jintian whipped his whip. Immediately, the horse raised its hooves, raised a wisp of yellow dust, and galloped towards the end of the road. After Lin Jintian set off, the Lin family's rather large convoy quickly followed with shouts. Although Yanqing is the closest city to Qinyang town, this is relatively close. Even if the convoy set out from Taima village, it took more than half a day to reach Yanqing without stopping. If it were from the town of Qinyang, the journey would probably take a whole day. On the road leading to Yanqing, Yanqing in the distance could only be seen as an outline, but the entire road was already bustling with all kinds of complicated and noisy sounds reaching Lin Tianci's ears. This atmosphere was much more lively than the Qinyang town fair. It's already so lively even before we reach Yanqing. I wonder how lively Yanqing will be. Lin Tianci couldn't help but click his tongue and try to look forward. On the side, the conversation between Lin Xiao and Lin Dong attracted Lin Tianci's attention. Donger, don't cause trouble when you enter Yanqing this time. Yanqing is a mixed bag of people, and there are countless hidden talents, so you need to be careful in everything you say and do. Lin Xiao saw Lin Dong's curiosity about Yanqing, and couldn't help but remind him, he may look like an ordinary old man, but his strength may have reached the Yuandan realm. Lin Dong took a breath of cold air when he heard this. Yuandan realm, wouldn't that mean he is even more powerful than Grandpa? Yeah. Lin Xiao nodded. Uncle Lin Xiao, please tell us about the situation of the forces in Yanqing. On the side, Lin Tianci couldn't help but interrupt and said, the power struggles in Yanqing are quite fierce. On average, several forces rise and fall every month. However, even the strongest of these forces are only at the Tianyuan realm, and there are very few Yuandan realm. Lin Zhao's words made Lin Dong open his eyes wide. Above these forces, there are three major forces that dominate the entire Yanqing. No other force can shake their position. Oh. Which three? Lin Dong asked curiously. The City Lord's Mansion of Yanqing, the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, and the Blood Wolf Gang. Lin Xiao slowly said, these three forces are full of masters, and there are even more than one Yuandan realm masters in charge. There are many small forces in and outside the entire Yanqing that rely on these three forces to survive. Lin Tianci nodded aside. In this Yanqing, Tianyuan realm masters are not rare, and only when you reach the Yuandan realm can you really have some say. The convoy arrived outside the city of Yanqing in the crowd without haste. Whether it was the increasingly deafening noise or the majestic city walls that were hundreds of feet high, they all gave Lin Tianci a very shocking feeling. After paying a little entrance fee, the Lin family slowly passed through the slightly dark city gate tunnel. Immediately afterwards, the deafening noise burst in like a tide, and the impact made Lin Tianci's head a little dizzy. Looking at the dark crowd and the rather majestic looking at the building, Lin Tianci took a deep breath, feeling inexplicably excited. This was not the first time that Lin Zhentian and the others came to Yanqing, so after entering the city, he walked through several streets with ease, and finally stopped in front of a slightly quiet inn. Afterwards, everyone tidied up a little, and Lin Zhentian and the others left to busy themselves with the sale of iron wood and Yang Yuan stone. Lin Tianci chose the room next to Lin Dong, and he drank tea quietly while waiting for Lin Dong to go out. About half an hour later, Lin Tianci heard the sound of a door opening from the room next door. The corners of his mouth raised slightly. Lin Dong went out. I wonder what surprise Lin Dong will bring me this time. Chapter 69. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin Tianci followed behind Lin Dong from a distance. After all, he was quite curious about Yanqing. Instead of waiting at home for the return of the system, it would be better to go out with Lin Dong to take a look. If he could see what Lin Dong had obtained, he would have an idea of the return of the system. What's more, Lin Tianci also promised to bring some gifts back to Lin Xia and Qin Tan. Now he naturally had to take a look around and get familiar with Yanqing. However, Lin Tianci did not get close to Lin Dong. He knew that some of Lin Dong's Yang Yuandan were transformed through the ancestral talisman, and some of them were of unknown origin. If he got close to them, it would interfere with Lin Dong's chance. With Lin Tianci's current strength, it was natural for him to follow behind Lin Dong easily. Although Lin Dong was cautious, he was not aware of Lin Tianci's existence at all. After entering the spacious street, Lin Dong obviously did not have any specific goal, so he was wandering aimlessly, and gradually walked towards the center of Yanqing with the crowd. It has to be said that in Yanqing, whether it was a shop or a street stall, the types of goods sold were much more than those in Qingyang town. Walking along the way, Lin Tianci even felt dazzled. The various novel items also opened Lin Tianci's eyes. The entire Yanqing was indeed as Lin Xiao said, with many frictions between the various forces. Therefore, following Lin Dong along the way, the two of them saw three waves of different forces fighting. The crowd watching was also not surprised, and some even cheered and fanned the flames. Lin Tianci and Lin Dong were obviously not interested in this meaningless fight. They didn't even stop and hurriedly bypassed it. They walked for many streets. Lin Tianci saw Lin Dong entering a magnificent pavilion, and above the main entrance of the pavilion, there were three words written, Kiwalu. Lin Tianci raised his eyebrows. It seemed that Lin Dong's next opportunity would be in Qiulu. He took out a black robe he had just bought and put it on, and then put on a bamboo hat, and then nodded with satisfaction. Now, unless he stood straight in front of Lin Dong would not recognize him at all. After entering the Qiwu building, Lin Tianci sent away the servant who came to introduce him, and set his sights on Lin Dong who was not far away. Then he saw Lin Dong who was not far away, holding a palm-sized cloth bag in his hand, and negotiating something with a green-clothed servant beside him with reluctance. Is that a Qiankun bag? Lin Tianci's eyes lit up. Qiankun bags are the patent of talisman masters, because they can condense the energy of heaven and earth into various runes. For example, a Qiankun bag, like the one in Lin Dong's hand, has runes for opening up space engraved on it. However, runes are also divided into strong and weak. The one in Lin Dong's hand is a condensed low-level rune, which can only hold things about a counter. Like martial arts, talisman masters also have a standard level system, which is distinguished by seals. The 1-seal talisman master is the lowest, and the 5-seal talisman master is the strongest, and the talisman master has such magical power, so naturally there is a threshold. You can't become one just because you want it. Even a lowly 1-seal talisman master must at least reach the earth element realm in terms of martial arts realm. In addition, the requirements for mental strength are also quite harsh. Therefore, the number of talisman masters is naturally quite scarce. Even in such a prosperous Yancheng, a 2-seal talisman master can become a guest of honor for major forces. Lin Tianci saw that Lin Dong's eyes were moved. Then, Lin Dong took out a bottle, and there were 10 pills of different colors in the bottle. After selling the pills, the Qiankun bag naturally fell into Lin Dong's hands. Ding! It is detected that the son of the plain, Lin Dong, has obtained a low-level Qiankun bag. Congratulations to the host, and you have received a 1,000-fold return. Qiankun ring. As soon as the system finished speaking, a rather simple ring appeared in Lin Tianci's hand. The internal area of the entire ring is quite large, even compared to the first floor of the entire Qiwu building. Yes, it's great to get something for free. Lin Tianci gently rubbed the Qiankun ring with his fingers, feeling satisfied. Now when he goes out, he doesn't have to worry about not having enough space even if he has a lot of things. Then, Lin Tianci called the servant. Help me see how many Yang Yuan pills these pills can be exchanged for. Lin Tianci said, and then took out a few pills. These pills were naturally various 4th-grade pills given by the system. Lin Tianci took them out at this moment, of course, to exchange for some Yang Yuan stones, so as to buy some gifts for Lin Xia and Qing Tan. Is this a 4th-grade elixir? The servant of Qiulu was obviously trained, so he couldn't help but flash a trace of surprise in his eyes, and then shook the bell in his hand. Lin Tianci looked at the various items on the shelf while waiting for the appraisal of Qiulu. Dear guest, may I ask if you made this elixir? Soon, a middle-aged man came to Lin Tianci and said respectfully, don't ask me what you shouldn't ask. Just tell me how much this pill is worth. Lin Tianci deliberately lowered his voice and said, each of these pills is of grade 4, of extremely high quality, with mild medicinal properties, suitable for people in the earthly realm or even the heavenly realm. Qiulu is willing to purchase them at a ratio of 1:100. The middle-aged man wanted to lower the price as usual, but was worried that he would offend this mysterious guest, so he said a fair price. Well, let's make a deal. Lin Tianci nodded. This ratio was within his expectations. It would be difficult to raise it further. Lin Tianci's palm gently swiped across and put hundreds of Yang Yuan stones into the Qiankun bag. A deep look of amazement appeared on the middle-aged man's face. Although it was just a flash, with his sharp eyesight, he could tell at a glance that the ring on the mysterious man's hand must be a very good storage magic weapon. While Lin Tianci was selling the elixir, Lin Dong, who was not far away, was staring at a talisman on the Qiankun bag in his hand and was fascinated. Then, in his mind, he couldn't help but send out an invisible mental wave. In the corner of the Qiwu building, there was an ordinary old man sitting there, squinting his eyes, as if he was sleeping. There was no aura fluctuation on his body, as if he was just an ordinary old man without any cultivation. However, when Lin Dong's mental fluctuations were emitted, the old man suddenly opened his eyes, with a little shock in his eyes. Chapter 70. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, Lin Dong opened his eyes, and a trace of palpitation flashed in his eyes. it seems that Lin Dong's spiritual power talent is about to awaken. Lin Tianci saw this scene and understood it. Just when Lin Dong was quietly relieved, a figure came to Lin Dong's side. "Did you sell this elixir?" Hearing this, Lin Dong was stunned, and turned his head, only to see a girl in a light red dress, waving the bottle in her hand at him. Originally, the girl was looking for Lin Tianci first. However, the aura of keeping strangers away from Lin Tianci made the girl return empty-handed, so she set her sights on Lin Dong, who looked about the same age as him. The girl had a beautiful face, a cherry mouth, a slender waist, and a tall figure, which attracted the attention of many men wandering in the Qiwu building. However, the girl was dressed gorgeously, and her every move was quite noble. Coupled with her cold temperament, she stopped many people from coming up to chat with her. What? However, Lin Dong was not moved by the girl's beauty. He just asked with some doubt, "Lin Dong, this kid, is really lucky in love?" Lin Tianci chuckled. This girl was only at the Earth origin realm, so Lin Tianci didn't pay too much attention to her. Instead, he looked at the middle-aged man standing behind the girl, because the pressure released by the middle-aged man was somewhat similar to that of Lincoln and others. It was obvious that his strength had reached the heaven origin realm. It is indeed Yancheng, a city full of powerful people. Lin Tianci sighed. A Tianyuan realm expert who was powerful enough to start a big force in Qinyang town was just a guard in Yancheng. Lin Tianci turned his eyes and suddenly his eyes lit up. He called the servant beside him, "Help me bring this bracelet to you." The bracelet that Lin Tianci valued was naturally a gift for Qing Tan. Upon hearing this, the servant immediately introduced the bracelet he had chosen to Lin Tianci with great enthusiasm. Not long after, Lin Dong's angry shout suddenly came from behind Lin Tianci, "Get out of here." After the angry shout, a force burst out from behind Lin Tianci, bang. Then, there was the sound of fists colliding. What's going on? Hearing this, Lin Tianci turned around in a hurry, not even bothering to look at the bracelet. He was puzzled. He had just diverted his attention for such a short time. How could Lin Dong fight with others? Except for Lin Tianci, the entire Qiwu building subconsciously turned their eyes and looked at the two parties in the conflict. Opposite Lin Dong stood a man with oily hair and powdered face. This man was obviously famous in Yancheng, and many people showed surprised expressions on their faces. The man was also at the Earth Yuan realm, but he was obviously at a disadvantage in the fight with Lin Dong. He actually took several steps back before he could remove the strong force contained in Lin Dong's fist. "I said, I just got those pills by accident. Why are you still making trouble?" Lin Dong frowned and looked at the man who had just slapped him, and said, "I didn't expect that a few pills could cause a dispute." Lin Tianci was a little surprised when he heard Lin Dong's words. However, just as Lin Dong finished speaking, the Tianyuan realm master next to him suddenly made a move, and his big hand was like an eagle's claw, grabbing Lin Dong's head. Feeling the strong pressure from the Tianyuan realm master in front of him, Lin Dong's face suddenly changed, and then his heart sank. Such a majestic momentum made him feel a strong sense of oppression in his heart. This is the son of the Lu family in Yancheng. There is a Tianyuan realm expert guarding him. The boy who is against him is quite unfamiliar. I think he is not the son of a big family. It seems that he is in trouble this time. Someone on the side couldn't help but speak. Many people looked at Lin Dong with a gloating look, and they didn't think there was anything wrong with a Tianyuan realm taking action against the Diyuan realm. After all, in Yancheng, it is normal to be bullied if you are not as strong as others and have no elders to look after you. Lin Dong's hands changed the hand seals frantically, and this hand seal was surprisingly the Qimen seal. Although this guard has just entered the Tianyuan realm and his aura is not stable enough, he is not something that the Qimen seal can deal with. Lin Tianci shook his head, and then his body moved slightly. At this moment, Lin Dong narrowed his eyes slightly, and the Yuanli in his body surged wildly. However, before the Tianyuan realm strongmen came to Lin Dong felt his eyes darken. A figure actually blocked his way. What is this? Lin Dong was stunned. Even the people around him showed surprise in their eyes. Lin Tianci threw a punch. The Tianyuan realm expert obviously did not expect Lin Tianci to appear, and a look of astonishment appeared in his eyes. Bang! The fists and claws collided, bringing a gust of wind that blew away the bamboo hat on his head. the middle-aged man retreated again and again under Lin Tianci's punch. He was horrified. The punch of the man in front of him was so strong that his fingers were numb. When he saw Lin Tianci's face, his mouth opened slightly and his pupils shrank. The man who knocked him back with one punch was so young. A lot of surprised eyes gathered on Lin Tianci, Brother Tianci. When the bamboo hat fell off, Lin Dong naturally recognized Lin Tianci's appearance, and he was immediately surprised. At the same time, a sense of security arose spontaneously. I thought today would be a fierce fight, but I didn't expect Brother Tianci to show up and save me. Behind me, there is also the support of the family. Such a thought came to Lin Dong's mind. Sir, it is not appropriate for you, a Tianyuan realm person, to intervene in a conflict between the younger generations. Lin Tianci looked at the middle-aged man who was repelled by him and said coldly, you rely on your Tianyuan realm strength to attack the younger generation. Do you really think that there is someone behind him? You. Hearing Lin Tianci's ruthless words, the middle-aged man's expression changed. He couldn't see through the strength of the man in front of him, so he was cautious and didn't force his move. He just said, so which family are you from? Why not tell me so that the Lu family can get to know you? Fighting is prohibited in the Chiwu building. Don't you know this rule? At this moment, an old man in gray appeared beside Lin Dong and spoke. When the old man in gray appeared, the whole Chiwu building fell silent. They looked at the old man with respect. It was obvious that the old man must be of a very noble status. However, the old man's next word stunned everyone. Chapter 71. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was naturally speaking to Lin Dong. When Lin Dong saw the runes on the Qiankun bag and the mental fluctuations that erupted, the old man noticed Lin Dong, but due to his status, he did not come over immediately. The girl who wanted to buy the elixir just now, and the man with greasy hair and powdered face, all looked at Lin Dong in disbelief. After all, they all knew how noble the old man's status was. With his strength, he could be treated as a guest of honor even if he went to the City Lord's mansion, the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, and the Blood Wolf Gang. And such a strong man actually extended an olive branch to a boy who looked ordinary. Master Yen, you said this boy has the talent to become a talisman master? The red-clothed girl said respectfully to Master Yen beside her with a surprised look on her face. It was not difficult to hear the surprise in the girl's words. The man with greasy hair and powdered face, as well as the middle-aged man who had just made the move, subconsciously became gloomy. The small area where Lin Tianci and others were located was briefly quiet at this moment. Can I become a talisman master? Lin Dong's face showed a hint of surprise. He naturally knew about the strength and transcendent status of talisman masters. At that time, Lin Dong did not expect that he had the talent to become a talisman master. Doesn't that mean that he has a chance to surpass Brother Tianci? Although his martial arts cultivation cannot catch up with Brother Tianci, the path of talisman master is not weaker than martial arts. However, the caution in his heart did not let him give an immediate answer, but looked at Lin Tianci in front of him. Many people envied Lin Dong. If he could be appreciated by Master Yen, he would have a bright future. Well, if you can become a talisman master, it will be great for your future development. Facing Lin Dong's sight, Lin Tianci smiled and nodded, and said, after all, if Lin Dong became a talisman master, the return from the system would naturally be more terrifying. At the same time, Lin Tianci sighed in his heart. The son of the plane is worthy of being the son of the plane. He had just arrived at the Chiwu building, and the opportunity came to him. However, after hearing Lin Tianci's words, Lin Dong's face still flashed a hint of hesitation, and then his fingers touched the palm of his hand without leaving a trace. Lin Dong's small action was noticed by quite a few people. Even if someone saw it, they would only think it was a subconscious action. Only Lin Tianci knew what Lin Dong's action meant. In his palm, Lin Dong's deepest secret was hidden. This secret was naturally the ancestral talisman. Obviously, Lin Dong was not sure that he could completely hide the secret in front of a powerful person like the talisman master with unpredictable means. Seeing Lin Dong's hesitation, many people showed anxious looks in their eyes, while the red-clothed girl and others had some interesting expressions. They looked at Lin Dong as if they were looking at a fool. This guy, is his brain a little bit off? A young man beside him muttered in a strange voice, yes, this is Master Yan's personal invitation, why don't you accept it quickly? Master Yen, are you sure this boy has the talent to become a talisman master? The girl in red frowned. She knew that becoming a talisman master required very strict mental strength, but this boy gave people a feeling of being dull. With this appearance, could he really have any mental strength that was far superior to that of ordinary people? Master Yen showed a hint of hesitation when he heard the girl in red, then, as if he wanted to confirm something, he stretched out a skinny finger and gently touched Lin Dong's brow. Lin Dong subconsciously wanted to dodge, however, at this moment, he was somewhat surprised to find that he had lost his mind in an instant. The control of the body. This change made Lin Dong's face look surprised. In Lin Dong's mind, Master Yen felt a very active mental power. Although this mental power has not yet officially entered the door of the Talisman Master, it is quite good in terms of talent. At the very least, Master Yen has been in Yanqing for many years and has seen countless talented people, but based on his rough investigation, Lin Dong's talent can definitely be ranked in the top 3. A touch of surprise appeared in Master Yen's eyes, and at the same time, a desire to love talent rose in his heart. Boy, given your talent, if you are willing to become my disciple, I am confident that I can help you reach the level of a second-level talisman master within 2 years. Master Yen spoke again. His words were very important. This. Lin Dong's eyes flashed with a look of desire. Even the people around him held their breath. At this moment, they wished they could take Lin Dong's place and agree to Master Yen's words. You kid, don't be ungrateful. Master Yen is a 4-seal talisman master. Don't you know how many people are vying to join his name? Seeing that Lin Dong still didn't say anything, the red-clothed girl couldn't help but said, I'm afraid that people from his small place don't know what a 4-seal talisman master represents. The young man with a slick back hair and powdered face also spoke at this moment. Although he was still quite unhappy with Lin Dong, the man who defeated him, he was now valued by Master Yen after all, and his status was probably different from before. Therefore, he didn't dare to speak as recklessly as before. However, his words were still full of sarcasm. Lin Dong lowered his head and looked at the talisman on the low-level Qiankun bag in his hand. And his mental power was also subconsciously carving the talisman. Ding, it is detected that the son of the plane, Lin Dong, has obtained mental power. Congratulations to the host, and you have successfully obtained 1,000 times return. Just when Lin Dong finished carving the talisman, the voice of the system appeared in Lin Tianci's mind as promised. Before Lin Tianci could react, a powerful and pure mental power appeared directly in Lin Tianci's mind. The huge and terrifying mental power immediately burst out from Lin Tianci's mind and swept out. Under such a huge mental power, many people in the field had a faint sense of it. Beside Lin Dong, Master Yen wanted to continue to persuade Lin Dong. His heart of cherishing talents had been completely aroused by Lin Dong, so he didn't want to give up so easily. However, before he could speak, the huge mental power burst out behind him like a tide. Master Yen turned back suddenly, and his originally calm expression was completely faded at this moment, replaced by a strong horror. Chapter 72. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The crowd watching nearby also shifted their attention from Lin Dong to Lin Tianci. Their eyes were filled with surprise. This. Master Yen opened his eyes wide, and couldn't speak clearly at this moment. Just now he was still regretting that Lin Dong was so talented. It would be a pity if he didn't follow the path of a talisman master, but in the blink of an eye, there came another one with even more terrifying talent. What happened today? Are all these geniuses coming together? No, that's not right. The young man in front of him can no longer be described as a genius, he should be a monster. Suddenly, Master Yen suddenly remembered Lin Tianci's words. If he remembered correctly, these two people came from the same family. The spiritual power talents of these two young men are so strong. Where on earth did this hidden family come from? Master Yen. The red-dressed girl Qingshu saw Master Yen staring at Lin Tianci in a daze, and she also asked in confusion at this moment. Master Yen heard Qingshu's words, and now he had no time to pay attention to Qingshu, but flashed in front of Lin Tianci. My dear friend, may I ask your name? Master Yen took a deep breath. Lin Tianci, Lin family. Lin Tianci bowed to Master Yen. It was obvious that the spiritual power given back by the system had been sensed by Master Yen when it exploded, and the distance was so close that even if Lin Tianci denied it, Master Yen would probably only believe what he saw. therefore, Lin Tianci also admitted it cleanly. Lin Tianci. Master Yen thought carefully about Lin Tianci's name, but he couldn't remember it. He had never even heard of the Lin family where Lin Tianci lived. Friend Tianci, I have seen many talented talisman masters in my life, but no one can match you in talent, not even half of your talent. Master Yen said seriously. When he said this, many people around him changed their expressions. Their expressions were even more shocked than when Master Yen extended an olive branch to Lin Dong just now. Even the servants and the housekeepers could not care about the business in the Qiwu building at this moment. They all gathered around and looked at Lin Tianci. It was the first time they heard Master Yen evaluate a young man like this. You know, even if it was the daughter of the Lord of Yanchen, Master Yen only commented that she had good talent. Seeing this scene, many people felt a sense of unreality. Is the talent of this handsome young man named Lin Tianci really as high as Master Yen said? Don't tell me that he used some method to deceive Master Yen. Master Yen, is this kid's talent really as high as you said? The young man with greasy hair and powdered face beside him felt even more unhappy. Back then, he also wanted to become a talisman master, but Master Yen took one look at him and rejected him without hesitation. Master Yen had never given him a good look. But now, these two people made Master Yen smile, especially this one named Lin Tianci. He actually heard a cautious tone in Master Yen's tone. Master Yen, you have to be careful. You never know what method this guy used to deceive you. Shut up. Qingshu's face changed immediately after hearing the young man's words. Master Yen, how can you make irresponsible comments? Master Yen ignored the young man's disrespectful words, but continued to look at Lin Tianci without blinking. My friend, your mental power is comparable to that of a second-level talisman master, but I feel that your use of mental power is a bit shallow. Maybe you have just awakened your mental power talent. Well, you can say that. Lin Tianci nodded. He always knew that he had a strong talent in the field of talisman master, but it was the first time that he got the system's return. Therefore, Master Yen said that he had just awakened, which was not a problem. What? A second seal talisman master? Qingshu's mouth suddenly opened wide. He had just awakened and was able to reach the level of a second seal talisman master. She had never even heard of such a terrifying talent. There were also bursts of gasps from the crowd next to him. After hearing what Master Yen said, Lin Dong was also a little dumbfounded. The previous second, he was still listening to Master Yan's recruitment, and even felt complacent in his heart that he could finally surpass Brother Tianci in other aspects. As a result, the next second, Brother Tianci gave him such a big shock. Lin Dong couldn't help feeling a little ashamed. It was too early for him to be happy. After many people reacted, they looked at Lin Tianci with burning eyes. He had just awakened and reached the level of a second seal talisman master. His future would definitely be limitless. If he could win him over, the rewards he would get would surely be extremely generous. And Master Yen obviously thought of this. Although Lin Tianci's strength was still some distance away from his own, Master Yen did not dare to be arrogant at all. After all, with Lin Tianci's terrifying talent, it was inevitable that he would surpass him. He even had a vague premonition in his heart that this time would not be too long. He was now a four-seal talisman master, and Lin Tianci's footsteps would certainly not be hindered by the five-seal talisman master. In the future, he might become a spiritual talisman master, or even reach the level of the legendary heavenly talisman master. Thinking of this, Master Yan's attitude towards Lin Tianci was actually a little respectful. Not to mention the heavenly talisman master, even the spiritual talisman master was a big shot. Master Yen, do you want to take me as your apprentice? Lin Tianci said with a smile. Hearing this, Master Yan's body trembled. To be honest, if he didn't feel moved by such a talented person in front of him, it would be a lie. But this idea only appeared in his mind for a moment, then he smiled bitterly and shook his head. Take you as my apprentice? I am not worthy. I cannot teach you such talent. Ah! Qingshu couldn't help but screamed. She had originally thought highly of Lin Tianci, but when Master Yen said this, she immediately realized that her opinion of him needed to be raised infinitely. If my Lu family can be on good terms with him. Qingshu couldn't help but think in her heart, Master Lin, I'm sorry, I was impulsive just now. Even the Tianyuan realm expert who started the fight did not dare to show any disrespect to Lin Tianci. He quickly said to Lin Tianci, "Little friend Tianci, you have just awakened your spiritual power, which is a cause for celebration. I have a small gift for you." Master Yan obviously wanted to win over Lin Tianci, so he took out a book without hesitation and wanted to hand it to Lin Tianci. Above the title of the book was written, Lindong chapter. He obviously needs this cultivation method more than I do, so Master Yan might as well give it to him. Chapter 73. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This is not to say that Lin Tianci looked down on this magical chapter. Well, Lin Tianci really didn't think much of it. After all, this divine movement chapter wasn't too profound, but if he gave it to Lin Dong, what he could get would naturally be better, no problem. Master Yan was only surprised by Lin Tianci's refusal, but he was not dissatisfied at all. It was normal for such a monstrous talent to be picky about the technique. Master Yan handed the divine movement chapter to Lin Dong. "Brother Tianci, don't you want it?" Lin Dong looked at Lin Tianci with a questioning look in his eyes. "It's okay, just keep it, you can communicate more with Master Yan in the future." Lin Tianci shook his head slightly, stretched out his hand and patted Lin Dong's shoulder. "In that case, I thank you, Master." Lin Dong took the divine movement chapter in his hand with some anticipation. Ding, it is detected that the son of the plane, Lin Dong, has obtained the method of cultivation of the Talisman Master, the divine movement chapter. The host has obtained 1,000 times return, the secret method of cultivation of the Talisman Master, the infinite mysterious canon. As soon as the system finished speaking, Lin Tianci felt that there was a secret method of cultivation called the infinite mysterious canon in his mind. Another 1,000-fold return. Lin Tianci raised his eyebrows. In a good mood, usually, it takes a lot of luck to draw a 1,000-fold return, but today it happened twice in a row. How can Lin Tianci not be excited? After having this Wuyang Xuandian, Lin Tianci felt that Master Yan in gray in front of him was becoming more and more pleasing to the eye. "Thank you Master Yan for your cultivation this time." Lin Tianci clasped his fists towards Master Yan and said, "If I encounter any problems in the future as a talisman master, I may trouble Master Yan again. Master Yan, please don't be annoyed." It was just the first time they met, but Master Yan was willing to give him the divine movement chapter unconditionally. Although Lin Tianci's talent accounted for a considerable proportion, it must be said that Master Yan was also a good person. Therefore, Lin Tianci did not mind showing some goodwill. "I am already honored that young friend Lin is willing to ask me, an old man, how can I feel annoyed?" Master Yan was naturally pleasantly surprised, and immediately waved his hand and said, "This Chiwu building is also an old man's property. If young friend Lin comes in the future, I will give you a 20% discount." Although this 20% discount does not sound like a lot, you have to know that the things in this Chiwu building are all very valuable, and it is common to buy thousands of Yang Yuan stones. Therefore, when converted on the spot, this 20% discount is really a lot. "Thank you, Master Yan." Lin Tianci clasped his fists to Master Yan and said, "My cousin and I have been out for quite some time today. If I don't go back, I'm afraid the elders at home will be worried. In this case, I will not keep you, little friend Tianci, any longer. If you are free, you can often come to Chiwu building to find me." Hearing that Lin Tianci was about to leave, Master Yan nodded. Then, he personally escorted Lin Tianci and Lin Dong out. Master Yan was quite famous in the whole Yanchen, therefore, the scene of him personally escorting people out naturally attracted a lot of attention. A series of surprised eyes stayed on Lin Tianci's face for a moment. However, what puzzled them was that they had no impression of Lin Tianci's handsome face. At that moment, many people were quietly asking about Lin Tianci's background and why he was so respected by Master Yan. And they were naturally it was easy to find out what happened in the Chiwu building today. Immediately, everyone looked at Lin Tianci with a strong fiery look. If you can make friends with such a talented person, you will benefit a lot. Feeling the fiery gazes around him, Lin Tianci frowned slightly and put the hat in his hand back on his head, which made him feel a little better. However, even so, what happened in the Chiwu building today was still spread from 1 person to 10, and from 10 to 100, and was talked about with relish. On this day, many people knew Lin Tianci's name. Lin Tianci and Lin Dong did not stay for too long and returned to the inn. Lin Dong, the art of talisman master is no worse than martial arts. Now that you have such an opportunity, you must cherish it and don't waste your talent in the art of talisman master. Lin Tianci looked at Lin Dong and said, "Well, brother Tianci, I will definitely practice the art of talisman master well." Lin Dong looked at the divine movement chapter in his hand, his eyes full of expectation. He had long heard that the talisman master was mysterious and respected, and now he had such an opportunity to practice, so how could Lin Dong not cherish it? Lin Tianci nodded with satisfaction, then entered his room and began to check the infinite mysterious classic that he had just obtained today. It didn't take long for the news of the Lin family's march to Yanqing to reach the Lei family's ears. After all, the Lei family had been keeping an eye on the Lin family. The Lin family is really a country bumpkin. They just mined a batch of ironwood, but they are in such a hurry to go to Yanqing to sell it. It's ridiculous. Lei Bao played with the bracelet in his hand and listened to the report from his subordinates, saying disdainfully, "But we can't let the Lin family be too happy. We should notify the several forces that are on good terms with our Lei family about this sale." "Yeah." Lei Ting nodded aside and said, "The sale of Lin's ironwood this time was extremely unsuccessful, and the price was reduced by 30%. That's good." Lei Bao's face showed a relieved expression. He was naturally happy to let the Lin family suffer a setback. "However, I also found out some things in Yanqing this time." Lei Ting's face showed some hesitation, but he continued to speak. "The Lin family not only sold iron wood, they also sold a large number of Yang Yuan stones." "A large number of Yang Yuan stones? I'm afraid it's not all the savings of the Lin family." Lei Bao said contemptuously. However, Lei Ting's next sentence made Lei Bao sit up straight suddenly. "That batch of Yang Yuan stones was unearthed very recently, and it is suspected that they were dug out recently." "What?" Lei Bao opened his eyes wide and looked at Lei Ting in disbelief. Then, he thought of the Lin family's time of manor, which had excessively tight defenses, and a bold idea emerged from his mind. "Moreover, I also heard that Lin Tianci from the Lin family showed his talent as a talisman master in Yanqing." With every word Lei Ting said, Lei Bao's face darkened a little. By the end, Lei Bao's face was already covered with dark clouds. Crack! His palm trembled, and the bracelet was crushed by Lei Bao. "Pay double the price and have that person come to Qingyang town immediately. Don't waste a minute, go." Chapter 74. You are listening at novelfull.audio. No one expected that everything that happened in the Chiwu building that day would gradually spread throughout Yanqing. Many people knew that Yanqing had a genius in the field of talisman master. Originally, this news was enough to shock people, but what came out later made many people gasp. The genius in the field of talisman master was as talented as a demon, and Master Yan treated him with courtesy, not daring to be negligent in the slightest, just to establish a good relationship. And the person who could be treated so respectfully by Master Yan was just a young man who had just awakened his spiritual power. Anyone with a little bit of brains could understand that this young man's future strength would definitely surpass Elder Lin and reach the level of the Five-Seal Talisman Master or even the Heavenly Talisman Master. With such strength, in Yanqing, he would naturally be one of the top big shots. Therefore, these days, there are actually many people who are interested in the information of the genius in the field of talisman master, openly or secretly. After all, this is a person that Master Yan couldn't help but make friends with. If they can find out the identity of this person and then make friends with him, doesn't it mean that they have embraced the thigh of a future big man in advance? With so many people trying so hard to find out, Lin Tianci's identity did not hide for long and gradually surfaced. After all, Lin Tianci directly said his name that day. In addition, there were quite a lot of people watching at that time. In addition to Lin Tianci, the name of the Lin family in Qingyang town has gradually entered the sight of many people. Although they have no impression of the Lin family in Qingyang town, they dare not despise it at all. After all, everyone knows that with such a demon-like genius like Lin Tianci, the rise of the Lin family is only a matter of time. After finding out the identity of Lin Tianci, it is not difficult for them to find someone. In the past few days, there are endless people coming to the inn every day, just wanting to visit Lin Tianci. Such visits have made the originally quiet and lively, thank you for your kindness, Senior Nyo, but I am still young and need to focus more on cultivation. Therefore, I am afraid that I will disappoint Senior Nyo. Lin Tianci escorted the middle-aged man with a strong aura to the door of the inn, and then smiled embarrassedly at Senior Nyo. It doesn't matter. When you figure it out, you are welcome to come to Ziyuan Escort Agency to find me. Just tell me your name. I will treat you as a guest of honor at Ziyuan Escort Agency. Nyo Zhong was not angry when he was rejected. Instead, he added a sentence cheerfully and left. Tianci, this is a Yuandan realm expert, and you just rejected him? Lin Zhentian, who was standing by, couldn't help but sigh when he saw Lin Tianci reject the olive branch from Ziyuan Escort Agency. If such an expert were placed in their Qingyang town, he would definitely be a top-notch existence, but he was rejected so easily by Lin Tianci, and this scene has appeared no less than 10 times in the past few days. Is this Lin Tianci from the Lin family? I have heard of your name for a long time. Seeing you today, I can see that you are indeed a hero at a young age. When Lin Tianci and others had just sent Nyo Zhong away and were not waiting to go back, several figures came up to them. Among these figures, the most eye-catching one was the woman in a red robe who was leading the group. The voice that greeted them just now was naturally from this woman. Seeing this figure, Lin Tianci's eyes subconsciously showed a look of amazement. The woman's skin was as smooth and white as jade, and her peach-like cheeks were covered with a graceful smile. Although she was a little thin, her figure was unusually plump, giving people a temptation like a peach. Who are you? Lin Tianci looked at the girl and asked, I am the manager of Wanjin Auction House, my name is Xian Su. I hope Mr. Lin will not be offended by my intrusion. The woman bowed to Lin Tianci and said with a smile, her every frown and smile was full of charm. Wanjin Auction House. Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. After hearing Xian Su's words, Lin Zhentian and other elders looked at each other with a hint of respect. They didn't expect that the beautiful woman in front of them was from Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, one of the 3 major forces in Yancheng. Such a person took the initiative to show goodwill, so Lin Zhentian naturally hurried forward and welcomed her in. After a few words of casual chat, Xian Su told the purpose of the visit. I wonder if Mr. Lin is interested in taking a position in my Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. My Wanjin Auction House is eager to recruit talents. If Mr. Lin is willing to come, my Wanjin Auction House will definitely not spare any resources. Hearing this, Lin Zhentian and others' eyes were full of enthusiasm. The Wanjin Chamber of Commerce has been able to stand in Yancheng for many years, and its foundation is naturally needless to say. If they are willing to spare no resources to cultivate Lin Tianci, then Lin Tianci's future prospects are certainly needless to say. Thank you for your kindness, Manager Su, but it's a big deal. I need to think about it more. I'm afraid I can't give you an answer right away. Lin Tianci thought about Xian Su's proposal for a moment and declined. Xian Su was not surprised by Lin Tianci's idea. She didn't come here with the intention of recruiting Lin Tianci. After all, with such talent, he would not be limited to Yancheng in the future. It would be strange if he was recruited so easily. After chatting with Lin Tianci and others for a few more words, Xian Su put down the gift and left lightly. Tianci, this is the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, you really don't want to consider it? A trace of pity appeared on Lin Zhentian's face. At the same time, he was a little envious. Is this the power of a talisman master? Even if he has just shown his talent, there are so many people coming to make friends. Lin Xiao also sighed. His son Lin Dong can be said to have awakened the talent of a talisman master at the same time as Lin Tianci. As a result, there are so many people coming to find Lin Tianci, but no one comes to find Lin Dong. Such a huge gap makes him feel a little uncomfortable, not to mention Lin Mang. The gap is too big. He has long lost the mood to compare. Just as the Lin family was preparing to return to Qingyang town, the Lei family welcomed a special guest. Although I come from outside the domain, Lin Tianci of the Lin family is our common target. The visitor's whole body was covered by a black robe, and even his face could not be seen. His whole aura was also filled with a cold feeling. When he spoke, his voice was dry and hoarse, giving people a chilling feeling.